Blue Jays Nation. The clock has started ticking, and Toronto now stand at one of the most crucial crossroads of its offseason. After a devastating loss that still hangs heavy in the air at the Rogers Center, the front office needs to act fast. Free agency officially opens this Thursday, and the feeling is clear. Big changes are coming. With key names in the roster set to test the market and a weakened rotation, the Blue Jays find themselves at a turning point. The team could lose 3 of its main starting pitchers from last season, and that has a fan base's heart pounding with concern. But along with uncertainty comes hope, because it's time to look ahead. And if there's one thing Toronto desperately needs, it's to strengthen its pitching rotation. That's why we've listed 6 starting pitchers the Toronto Blue Jays should target this offseason. Names that could put the team back in contention and reignite the fire in the heart of the blue and white faithful. This offseason promises to be long, intense, and full of twists. What the front office decides in the coming weeks may determine whether 2026 is a new beginning or just another year of frustration. Leave a like and drop a comment. Blue Jays Nation, because this is when the fire of reconstruction begins to burn, and only those who bleed blue truly understand the weight of this moment. Signing number 1, Dylan Cease. The Jays' rotation needs fire, and few throw a fastball as hot as Dylan Cease. At 29, the right-hander comes off a frustrating season. A 4.55 ERA, 215 strikeouts, and 71 walks that betrayed his command. Even so, his name remains one of the most sought after on the market. In 2024, he finished 4th in the American League Cy Young voting. 2 years before that, he nearly won it in the National League. And what came next, no one expected. Despite his control issues, Cease is the kind of pitcher who can change the tone of a series. He's pure emotion. Either he dominates the game or he tests the patience of every manager. The Blue Jays front office knows the value of an arm like that, especially in clutch moments where a spark of confidence can ignite an entire rotation. But would Toronto really gamble on such an unpredictable talent? The fan base is divided. Some see the potential. Others remember the heartbreak of inconsistency on the mound. Deep down, everyone knows if Cease finds a command in blue and white, he can become the kind of hero Toronto hasn't seen since Stroman. It might sound crazy, but that's how great stories begin. Signing number 2, Framber Valdez. If talent were the only criterion, Framber Valdez would already be at the Rogers Center. At 31, the left-hander is a big name. A 3.66 ERA in 2025, top 10 in Cy Young voting for 3 straight seasons, and a pitching arsenal that makes any lineup sweat. But the problem was never his arm. It was his temperament. During 2025, Framber made headlines for the wrong reasons, provoking catcher Cesar Salazar and disrupting clubhouse chemistry. And today, Toronto is a team built on unity. Even so, talent speaks louder. And let's be honest, Valdez would be the impact lefty this rotation is missing. Imagine him and Gaussman opening series against the Yankees or Astros. That's the kind of pairing that makes fans dream. But would the front office risk clubhouse chemistry for on-field performance? That's the question haunting the fan base. Because sometimes the issue isn't talent. It's the silence in the dugout after a provocation. Signing number 3, Ranger Suarez. Amid the flashy names, Ranger Suarez stands out as a kind of addition that doesn't make noise but delivers results. The 30-year-old lefty posted a 3.20 ERA in 2025, the best season of his career, proving that intelligence control can be just as deadly as velocity. Toronto sees in him a chance for stability. While others fluctuate, Suarez is pure consistency. He fools hitters, induces weak contact, and keeps the game under control. In a rotation that's been a roller coaster of highs and lows, that sounds almost like music. Fans look at him and think, he's not the flashiest name, but he's the kind of guy who wins in October. Because sometimes the hero of Blue Jays Nation isn't the one who shines, it's the one who quietly holds the game together. Signing number 4, Zach Gallen. Zach Gallen knows what it feels like to fall straight from the sky onto the hard ground reality. In 2025, he posted a 4.83 ERA, the worst mark of his career. The same Gallen who was top 3 in Cy Young voting in 2023, who once looked like the face of a new era in Arizona, now hits the market trying to prove he's still that guy. And Toronto knows the value of a player hungry for redemption. His career ERA still sits at 3.58. That doesn't just disappear. He's technical, disciplined, a student of the game. Maybe he needed a shock to find his path again. And what better place for a comeback than a Rogers Center starving for hope? But the question is inevitable. Would the Jays have the courage to invest heavily in someone coming off collapse? Because in Toronto, redemption is the word of the day, but it comes at a price. Signing number 5, Michael King. No one expected Michael King to reach the level he has. A 30-year-old right-hander with a 3.44 ERA in 2025. Solid numbers, especially considering he was a reliever not long ago. In 2024, he shined with a 2.95 ERA and over 200 strikeouts. Then came the injuries. Only 15 starts this past season. But every time he took the mound, it was the same King. Precise, confident, relentless. He's the kind of player who doesn't arrive to be a star, but ends up earning the team's and the fans' respect through effort and grit. Blue Jays Nation knows that type from a mile away. The guy who fights without the spotlight, who plays for the group. And that's why many dream of seeing him in blue. Because Toronto doesn't just need talent, it needs character. Signing number 6, Merrill Kelly. The name Merrill Kelly has already circulated in Toronto's rumor mill. At 37, the veteran continues to impress with his consistency. A 3.52 ERA in 2025, 167 strikeouts, and a calm presence few can match on the mound. He was considered before the trade deadline, but ended up going to the Texas Rangers while the Jays bet on Bieber. Now, with a new offseason ahead, the rumor is back, stronger than ever. Kelly doesn't have the flash of the younger arms, but he carries what many lack: stability. He understands the game, handles pressure, and brings balance to any rotation he joins. And maybe, among so many risky options, it's a veteran who could bring calm to Toronto's pitching roller coaster. Time passes, but baseball still respects those who deliver day after day. The Toronto Blue Jays offseason is, more than ever, a reflection of what this fan base feels year after year. Hope mixed with caution, excitement tangled with that familiar fear only those who suffer with this team can understand. Each name on this list carries a piece of what Toronto needs to rediscover. Dylan Cease brings a fire of youth and the promise of raw power, even with the risk of chaos. Framber Valdez is pure talent, but comes with the challenge of fitting into a clubhouse built on unity. Ranger Suarez is the portrait of quiet consistency, the kind of guy who doesn't need a shout to be essential. Zach Gallen embodies redemption, the chance to prove that one bad year doesn't define a career. Michael King is a fighter, the one who takes the mound with scars and determination. And Merrill Kelly is a steady hand that balances it all, the veteran whose arm carries the wisdom of time. In the end, what Blue Jays Nation wants is simple: to see this team play with soul. Because we've seen talent come and go. What's missing is seeing the blue and white play with purpose. With every rumor, every possibility, the same feeling grows that Toronto is one step away from something big, if it dares to make the right move. And when that day comes, the sound of the Rogers Center will echo like never before. Being a Blue Jay means believing, even when the sky looks cloudy, because this jersey carries history. And this fan base never gives up. Drop a comment, Blue Jays Nation. Which of these signings do you want to see in blue? And leave a like to show that this passion never fades.